Hi guys. A couple of people have asked, where am I? I am here. I am here. It has been a very, very long week. Actually, 2 weeks since we moved to the floor. It has just been one whirlwind after another. I'm trying to even remember when I last updated you and what we were talking about. I know we had just moved into this room, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So let me think. I think I'll just start from, he has not been sleeping at all at night. Various reasons for that. One is he's been having extremely high blood pressures because they were weaning the clonidine, and that made his blood pressure raise. So they were taking numerous, like 20 or more blood pressures overnight. As soon as he would get calm, they would do the thing. The weaning was just really hard for him, but then they had to keep going back because he couldn't wean and his blood pressures were too high. And then they started him on something called gabapentin, I don't know, something like that. Anyhow, they started him on something else. Why is this going to the floor? This is his feed. Oh my goodness. I was like, why is my foot wet? Caesar. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna stop this, fix this, and then I'll be back with you. So you guys have to be a little crooked because you're actually on his bed. And he needs to be at an incline. So, yes, that's been how my life has been. So basically that orange tube was going all over my foot, and I'm like, oh, what's wet? The feed was turned on onto my foot. It was never hooked up. So, I could have fixed it. I could have, but I kind of made it. Yeah. I decided, like I do with my kids, make them come back and fix the issue. It happens to people, right? Anyway, just happens to be how the day is going. Okay, let me try to reverse to where we need to be. So, let's see, Thursday. Yes, Thursday? No, Wednesday night into Thursday, so early Thursday morning. So I had eaten, they had these pasta bowls with chicken in it, and so it was like mac and cheese with chicken in it. I don't know if you guys, if you've been here a while, you know that this happened to me before. I thought that maybe I was getting a stomach bug, but I wasn't, and it's just because I had eaten too much gluten. Well, that had happened to me, and I was like, oh my goodness, I don't want to be here and get him sick, if that's the issue. But then I knew it was a high likelihood that it could be the gluten as well. So I was kind of waiting it out. And then I was like, no, I think I just need to leave. So I called my husband, and because I don't have a car here. So he came down from Maine at 2 o'clock in the morning and came to pick me up. You know, just trying to do what's right with everyone, by everyone, whatever you want to say. There, that was kind of annoying me. Okay, just trying to do what's right. And so I didn't want to get him sick, and so I left. That was very hard for me to do, very hard. As you know my feelings about being down here and just not wanting to leave and all these things. So I left. I fell asleep. We got back at 4 in the morning. I fell asleep until 2 when the nurse called. Thankfully the Lord worked it out. I was praying the whole time, just that he might have a good nurse that following day, somebody that was compassionate. And there is one lady that I really like, one nurse that I really like here. and it was her. She has some young children, and so she was his nurse that day. And so she called and she said a bunch of things that happened, and I'm like, oh my goodness, guys. So I'm trying to think of all the things. His head circumference was up, so they were going to do a vent check. He had cellulitis in his G-tube site again. And what was the other thing? Oh, and then they said that his respiratory didn't sound right, like maybe it was diminished on one side, so they wanted to get a chest x-ray. So in the NICU, they can do most of that except for the vent check in the actual room. Here they can't. So she's like, yeah, I put him in his little stroller. So she put him in the stroller and she took him for ultrasound. She took him for the vent check, and she took him for the chest x-ray. They said he was like desatting overnight, that he was doing really bad and whatever. And I'm like, what is going on here? And then, so I was like, okay, I'm coming in. Let's see, that was Thursday. Okay, so Friday, we were supposed to have that meeting. Okay, so at that time, all I had done was slept. I never ended up getting sick. I was just having like the difference with like gluten. I think now that I think that I can tell the difference is you get like stomach pains versus like actually feeling like, I mean, you kind of feel nauseous and you feel like you are getting a stomach bug, but that you have like stomach pains. And I think that's what differentiates it from like a virus. So, which really makes me like, yeah. Gluten-free sandwich. I did not know. They have a whole gluten-free menu. That lovely nurse showed me the gluten-free menu. So now I have the gluten-free menu. So I'm going to work on that. So, he had all those things. Yes, he had cellulitis. So they started him back on an antibiotic. His lungs looked okay. No, like, they could still see the eventration. So he has a diaphragmatic eventration on the right side that kind of pushes up against the lungs. They could see that, but they were doing okay. He has like not the best lung function, but good for him, right? Like at his level that he's at right now. So that is good. It sounded okay. It's well aerated. So we're glad for that. Let me see. And then the head circumference. So they had been doing daily head circumferences since his ATV surgery, and they've not been doing that since we came on the floor. So then when they took the head circumference, it was up. But they can't tell if it was trending up or if it was like a big jump up, because it wasn't like being trended slowly. Yeah. So they were looking at that and trying to decide what to do. So my sweet friend who is here, she's on the same floor. She's like, I'll go check on him for you. I said, I'll be back, because I had been fighting for this meeting. So I wanted a meeting with all the teams so we could all get on the same page and make a plan that's best for Azariah, to get Azariah home if that's what's best for him at this moment. If it's only for a medication weaning, then I wanted to try to do that from home. And how did I need to get there? What needed to happen? I think I shared before that like plenty of children go home on this certain medication, and then it can also be used for blood pressure, yada yada yada. So he's sleeping so well because he slept from 3 to 5:30 this morning. That's it. And then he decided he would go to sleep at 9. So they said that he was the following day that he was lethargic and he wasn't himself and whatever. Yeah, because he has been awake all night. Yes. This is what I've been trying to tell people, is he has been awake all night. We need to try to like work on doing medications at different times so that he can feel more awake during the day. Huh. What do you think? He's like, I think life is grand. So just trying to figure out things. It's hard. It's hard on me. People were asking like where I was, and you know, I usually post very frequently. It's hard for me to even function, guys. So I slept, and then I was with the kids, the younger kids, for a couple hours, and then I slept again that next night. And my supply was like grand from that because I got the adequate sleep that I needed. And then the next day, my friend came in here and she was going to check on him before I came in here. And the neurosurgeon was actually, who did his ETV surgery, was coming in the room to check on him. And he was like, oh, I'll just video chat with you. So he chatted with me for 15-20 minutes, which was really nice. He like gave me like everything. He's like, we just want to keep an eye out. We want to see if this is just a steady trend as far as him growing, or if it's like, because normal growth is normal in a baby, right? His body's growing, so things are gonna grow, but we don't know if it's a steady trend or if it's a huge jump. So we need to just kind of keep a close eye on this. We're gonna do daily head circumferences and see where that's at. So that's the plan with him. Oh my goodness. So that's the plan, taking daily head circumferences. They did the ultrasound. They decided to start him on an antibiotic. And then this morning I saw, and it looked different. Like it's almost like a bubble. And I asked the nurse, I'm like, is this what they saw yesterday, or how is this? Because I had been taking pictures every day, every time I did his G-tube like dressing. I would like wash my hands, do the G-tube dressing, and take a picture. And so she's like, no, they didn't see it like this. So then we had them evaluated this morning. So now we have like a cream to put on topically, because it looks like a topical type thing as well. So hopefully 7 days of antibiotics and his topical cream hopefully will take care of that. Okay, yesterday. So yesterday was the meeting. I got a call. I was driving in from Maine to here, which really I was only gone for like one full day-ish. So from 4 a.m. on Friday morning to, Thursday morning till Friday afternoon. So like a day and then a couple hours, day and a half. So we went for the meeting, and I was praying beforehand that I just got the discretion and the words that I needed to have in order to have this meeting. I got a phone call right before then asking if this palliative care team could come and speak to me first, which I've talked to them like all throughout this journey while I was in the NICU, but I have not seen them since I was downstairs. So what was kind of happening is this one team that's supposed to take care of complex children was kind of reaching out to these other like entities, but things seem to have been getting like mixed and mashed in this jumble of things. So I had spoke to somebody on Wednesday, reverse a little bit, on Wednesday from nephrology, which is the kidney doctors, which is the ones who handle blood pressure. And I had asked, I said, it seems like that's the clonidine is actually affecting his blood pressure. Like, ideally, if that's the only thing keeping him here, like, could we just keep him on whatever? And they said yes, they would sign off on that. Like, they would be okay to do that. So I was like, okay. So I told the this other team that they said that. So we had this whole team meeting, and they decided that yes, they would, the other team, the PAC team, would be okay with that as well, given like the circumstances. So I don't know. I don't really know. I do know they wanted to, I don't understand things sometimes. So they started him on gabapentin 5 days ago, and then his blood pressure started going down. I was like, let's just take the gabapentin off and leave him where he was okay at his other baseline. And they're like, no, we really want him to be at Q6 hours instead of Q4 hours. And I was like, well, if you need to like give him 2 medications, is that still going to make it Q6 hours? So they want to try to have 2 separate medications at Q6 hours, the same hour. I don't know. I feel like I just kind of threw my hands in the air. I'm like, whatever, that's fine. If that's what you feel is necessary, that's fine. So he weaned last night into today at Q6 hours because they already had to hold back his clonidine because his blood pressure was so low because he was doubled up with the gabapentin and the clonidine. So he's now at Q6. He gets irritated at Q5 and a quarter. Oh, big yawns. Yeah. So lots of moving parts. Yeah, lots of moving parts. So I don't know what's gonna happen. The plan is he will have a sleep study on Wednesday. So he has sometimes decelerations of his oxygen while he sleeps if he's in a really deep sleep. He goes down and then he comes right back up. So they want to get a baseline because with trisomy 18 and 13 children, it is very common for them to have some form of sleep apnea, and we just want to make sure what his baseline is and make sure that he's going home in the safest way possible. Also, hopefully in the future, that we will know a baseline, so if there is a change in that baseline, we'll understand that as well. So that's kind of where we are at with that. I'm trying to think what else, but we need to, before then, we'll have to make sure that neurosurgery is okay to go through with the sleep study. And then if they are, then we'll do the sleep study, see if any changes or adjustments need to be made, and then we can do the car seat test. We have got all of our oxygen supplies at home, and we have got all of our feeding supplies at home. I spoke to the lady when we were doing that whole team meeting. The team meeting was like 2 hours long. No, maybe like an hour and a half. And there was the lady that kind of, I think she does like durable medical equipment. So she is looking at, we will have at-home nursing, but we're not quite sure how that will be. I'm thinking just maybe a couple times a week to try to get us through like the first step, so like they can help us figure out like oxygen in the home. They can help us figure out like if they want like his blood pressures frequently and such. Also, I wanted to know about training, so she's seeing if there's any training that I can go through to do his blood pressure, and or try to get like a prescription to get a small electric baby cuff so I can take his more frequently. There's also a member of the team, it's called like the Rainbow Team. They are an awesome group of doctors and nurse practitioners that work with complex children that have complex needs, that have so many different doctor scenarios that they just kind of pull the people together. It's really difficult because you're talking about having so many outside resources type things. It's easier for like you just have one main person to talk to, and then they can help you find those resources. So that's kind of the teams that I'm working with now, is like that, because we have, I don't even know, neurology, neurosurgery, nephrology, cardiology, cardiac surgery, ophthalmology. What's hearing? We need to get his hearing evaluated on an outpatient basis because he has good hearing in this ear, and he has a lot of moderate hearing loss in the other ear, and they think that's probably why he turns his head a lot this way, so he can hear best in this ear. Oh, puppy. Yeah. Also, if you see him like have his head up like this, he has some sundowning. So his eyes look down. It's not having to do with him like visually like nearsighted or farsighted. It's having to do with the pressure on his brain makes his eyes look down. So it's like training the optic nerves as the pressure goes away, training the optic nerves, the nerves to go back up so you can see better. So if your pupils are way down here in your eyes, you're going to be looking down all the time. So in order to see what's up here, you're going to need to do this to see what's up here. So that's basically what's going on with his eyes and such. He needs to do this and then like this. So that's why he likes to be like this. I just said the wrong ear, didn't I, bud? I did. No, that's right. That's right. This ear is the good one. His right ear and his left ear is less. So, his hands. Some people have mentioned his hands. I think his hands look beautiful. He's done so much improvement on his hands. He can spread his hands out. If you saw them in the beginning, his hands couldn't even, they were kind of stuck down like this. Look how beautiful that is. Doing so good, and he can start to grasp things. Yeah. We just want to love him. I want to take him home and love him. Spend time with him. Bring him to the beach. Take him on walks. As long as it's safe, like, yeah. I think most of the team now is on that kind of road with us, which is wonderful. But there was a lot of discussions that needed to happen before that was actually official to do that. Hi, bud. Love you. Wolf. So I think that's all the update for now. I think we need to unclip that. There we go. Unclip that, huh, bud? We should add a timer on. It's totally different. Here, on the floor. What do you think, sir? Hard thing is my husband's coming down tomorrow, and we're not exactly sure what that's gonna look like because we don't have the Ronald McDonald House. It seems like a couple of the hotels that kind of go with the hospital are booked out. So I don't know. We'll have to see. Technically, I don't know how that couple was sleeping in the same room together for those days that I was in the shared room, because technically you're only supposed to have one adult. So I don't know. I mean, it's not like both of us would be sleeping anyway, because somebody's always up. Huh, could you like to be up at nighttime? I can't wait to get him home so we can figure out what his time and what his schedule kind of looks like. I know he's wearing like a skirt because we were trying to fix his thing underneath. Oh well, I hope y'all have a blessed and wonderful day. I hope that made some sort of sense, because I don't really know if I make sense or not, because I'm so stinking tired. Oh, and lots of people are like, you should just take a nap. That's easier said than done, because as soon as he wants to lay down, then okay, bub. As soon as he wants to lay down, then there's doctors and physical therapists and everything coming in the room. Anyway, thank you for your prayers. Thank you for your prayers for my friend and her daughter and her grandson that they just lost. Like, thank you for just praying for that whole household. I truly appreciate it. And I hope you guys have a blessed and wonderful day.